Yeah, hi there. These comments, I'm going to just use your initials, CSC, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons. And why is it? You are the first one always to complete all my assignments in my online TOEFL course. Also, you're one of my students in the English language program. You know what this tells me? It tells me you're motivated, you're ambitious, you're serious, you're dedicated, you want to improve your English. So I appreciate that. You always take the initiative to get things done in a very timely manner. Okay, so let's take a look at your response. Well, if I remember correctly, you did an integrated speaking practice test. I'm going to listen to it right now.
According to the listening lecture, the growing ice fields surrounding the sinking of Titanic. During the night which Titanic sank, the sea was calm and the temperature had dropped to a chilly 31 degrees. According to the listening lecture, the growing ice fields surrounding the...
Okay, now here's the problem, is you start off saying the growing ice fields were surrounding the Titanic, but you need to start it off more with the general statement. You want to say, according to the lecture, there were several important events that caused this great ship to sink. If you frame it like that, then it's now easy. Then you just focus on the most important supporting details that relate to that question. So obviously, one of the problems was there was ice surrounding the ship, ice and icebergs. And obviously the ship hit an iceberg, which caused it to sink, right? So then we understand how that idea relates to a bigger point.
Sinking of Titanic. During the night which Titanic sank, the sea was calm and the temperature had dropped to a chilly 31 degrees. Since the two guys who stood in the cross net and...
Now wait a minute. Now why is it important to mention that the sea was calm? The reason this is important is it would be difficult to see icebergs because you wouldn't be able to see the waves breaking at the base. So it's not just important to say, well, the sea was calm, explain why that was an important factor that maybe caused this ship to sink. So everything that you say has to relate to that purpose. Do you see what I'm saying? So it needs to be clear how what you just said relates to that idea.
At lookout, displayed their binoculars. Icebergs were difficult to spot. Although the wireless room received more ice warnings, all of warnings were ignored. Moreover, Phillips signaled back for California to shut up after he had received the ice warning from California.
That's right.
So the California operator shut off his receiver and went to bed. About 11:40, the two guys who stood in the cross nest tried to figure out the hatch which was close to Titanic. However, they discovered it was an iceberg when they were about to hit it. Consequently, Titanic was damaged by the iceberg and doomed.
Yes, not bad. So let's take a look at the actual rubrics now. So the main thing is, how is everything that you said, how is that all connected to the purpose of what were the events that caused the ship to sink? So because you didn't really have that, you didn't have that as an introduction, it wasn't as easy to understand how things were connected. So if you say, well, first of all, one difficulty was the calm sea, which means it would make it more difficult for the officials to spot the icebergs because they couldn't see the waves breaking at the base. If you said another factor that was important in causing the ship to sink was the fact that some of the workers had misplaced their binoculars or left them back in Southampton and didn't bring them, which would make it even more difficult to spot the icebergs. So I think here, your big issue really is your topic development. So how is everything that you're saying connected back to the purpose of the speaking task? So you could improve your connection of ideas a little bit. Now, having said that, I think you had pretty good control of your language use, including your vocabulary and your grammar. You're working on your pronunciation. It's not perfect, but I could understand pretty much everything that you were saying, so that's not bad at all either. So your score here, based on my comments, I'm going to put you at about 2.50 out of 4. or 19 points out of 30 on this practice test. Now, for the purposes of our class, if you go to the syllabus and you go to page 9 and you see a 2.5 is going to put you at 85% on this assignment. Alright, so the main thing here is your organization. This is why I gave you a little bit lower score. You want to make sure everything is organized and it matches the purpose of the task. Okay? Anyway, thank you very much, and you worked hard. You've been a great student so far this quarter. Keep up the good work.